weather, and more. It's Terry Henne and his Farm Show on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW and online WSGW.com.
A mostly sunny good morning to you. I hope your day is going well for you, wherever you might be. Terry Henne here at Radio Center, along with Matthew Lester on this absolutely gorgeous morning so far. Hardly a breeze out there at all. Temperatures warming up. We should come pretty close to what's normal for this time of the year. Actually, we might even go over it by a couple of degrees. We'll talk about the weather forecast in just a moment. Things beginning to warm up, especially in southwest or southeast Michigan. All of this ahead of a warm front, which is moving up through the state. Will move through as we go into this afternoon and tonight, and then during the day tomorrow. Things are going to rev up more summer-like before a cold front will be moving through, and our temperatures will range anywhere from 12 to 18 degrees below normal as we move into the weekend. Matthew, what do we have temperature-wise right now?
Right now, over at the airport, it's sunny at 68. Over in Midland, it's sunny at 70. Here at Radio Center, it's also sunny at 70. We have southwest winds at 6 miles per hour, and our pressure's at 30.39, and it's steady.
Hot spot in the state right now is Detroit, but we do have a lot of upper 60s and low 70s all across the lower peninsula, as well as the upper peninsula. We're looking at some of the warmer temperatures overall across the UP. At this hour, most of the upper peninsula, with the exception maybe of the Sawyer Gwinn Air Force Base, is warmer than what we are right now with 68 degrees. Chilly start once again to the day. We did see some temperatures below normal for this time of the year. I know up north, Glennie was looking at a low of 37 this morning. Carroll was at 43. Even as far south as Ann Arbor, we had 45 degrees. Bad Axe was looking at 45. Flint came in this morning at Bishop Airport at 48. Midland, you were looking at 46 for an overnight low. Port Huron was reporting 45 degrees. And here at Radio Center, we dropped down to 48. A few of the other reporting stations halfway close to us, we're looking at Frankenmuth. That was at 46. Carroll was at 43, Cass City at 43, and Vassar came in at 43 degrees as well. Down in Genesee County, Burton started the morning off at 44. Lapeer was at 45 degrees, and even down into southeast Michigan, Ann Arbor started the day off at 45. We did have some pretty nice temperatures yesterday afternoon, but the bulk of the warmest temperatures we saw all across the state occurred after about 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon, and I think that's going to be the case once again. Mostly sunny skies, 82 is what we're looking at for a high temperature today. Clear skies tonight, 58. So those temperatures are pretty close to what's normal for this time of the year back in July, end of June, first part of August. The record low on this date is 37. That was set back in 1997, and that was the coldest ever September the 4th on record. Again, 1997, the high temperature was 71. So that's why that day was registered as the coldest. The warmest ever was set in 1973. 89 was our high, 71 was our low. The record high on this date is 94, and that was set back in 1929. A year ago today, 88 was our high, 67 was our low. We had no precipitation to talk about. And we talk about dry conditions. The latest crop progress report indicated that more than a third, closer to 36% of the topsoil in the state of Michigan is rated dry to very dry, and even subsoil. We're talking better than a quarter of the subsoil moisture in the state is rated at dry to very dry as well. A year ago, by right now, we had close to 27 inches of rain, water equivalent, all the way through the first 8 months and 3 days. This year, we're at 18.84. So we're almost, well, we are better than 8 inches below where we were at the same time a year ago. Let's just hope that Mother Nature doesn't decide to equal things out here before the end of the year. Incidentally, when we do talk about that, we are talking the 6 to 10 day and the 8 to 14 day forecast. From now all the way through the 17th of the month, we're looking at precipitation values to be below normal. And next week, we're looking right now at a pretty dry week in the forecast. Temperature-wise, we'll moderate a little bit after the upcoming weekend. As I indicated a little bit earlier, we are going to be talking temperature-wise, a high maybe of 60 on Saturday, where we should be at 77. And on Sunday, we'll warm up a little bit by about 3 or 4 degrees, but that's going to be about it. And we are going to be looking at a rather brisk northwest and north wind. So that could create some kind of chill out there. Might be a good idea if you are going to be out and about. I'm not looking for much of anything in the way of moisture. So other than the temperature, that's going to be the only thing to concern yourself with. It might be a good idea to dress accordingly because we do have a lot of things starting. One case in point, starting this weekend, the Octagon Barn over in Gagetown and Johnson's Pumpkin Farm, they're having their beginning of the season. That's coming up on Saturday. And we'll be broadcasting from both of those locations. Tomorrow, we'll give you a sneak preview of what's going on at Johnson's for the calendar year for the season. And then on Friday, we'll be at the Octagon Barn in Gagetown. Our broadcast on Friday will be brought to you by the folks at Steiner Tractor. New parts for old tractors made easy. Steiner Tractor. We'll have a lot more information on that as we move through the next day or so. Looking at a high tomorrow of 85, so warmer still. Clouds will be on the increase late. And then tomorrow night into the morning hours on Friday, that will be the best chance of precipitation as that warm front and then the cold front will be moving through. It'll be early Friday morning when that cold front moves through. So you'll see a shift in the winds, maybe even before sunrise. And then the temperatures are going to be dropping as we go through the day on Friday. After a high of about 72, which could be early in the day, we're looking for a low on Friday night. For football season, we're looking at chances of precipitation, although it'll be a lot more scattered. We're going to be looking at a projected low temperature of 47 on Friday night. And then, as I said, Saturday and Sunday, it'll be pretty chilly. More on the weather as we go through the broadcast. Standing by, Matthew, who do we have?
Up next, we have Cody Harris from Star of the West, and we also have Doug Klein from Oppenheimer.
But before we get to them, we want to remind you, the weather forecast brought to you by the folks at Nutrient Ag Solutions.
Nutrient Ag Solutions has the local expertise to recommend the corn, soybean, and other seed products that are the best fit for your field. Plus, unparalleled agronomic support with products and services to unlock yield potential and improve crop performance from planting to harvest. Ask about our financing options to help you get more from every acre and lead the field. Visit your local Nutrient Ag Solutions branch or go to nutrientagsolutions.com.
They say there's a secret to growing a great crop. At Nutrient Ag Solutions, they beg to differ. It all starts with a strong foundation, and when it comes to fertilizer, there's no question that Titan XE drives dry fertilizer performance. They've been unlocking the potential in every prill of dry fertilizer with biocatalyst technology for over a decade. Visit lpi.ag/Titan or contact your Nutrient Ag Solutions crop consultant to drive your crop's potential today. Farm Service brought to you today by the Michael Sarr Crop Insurance Agency. Risk management, that's what farmers have to work with all the time. Well, it might be a good idea to get some help with that risk management. And if you are going to be putting wheat in, probably a very good idea to be talking to the folks at the Michael Sarr Crop Insurance Agency right now. Because remember, they are licensed to serve all of Michigan with both conventional and organic crop insurance. Now, their agents can be reached directly on their cell for questions or emergencies. Or you can call the office at 989-868 4722. The Michael Sarr Crop Insurance Agency. We say good morning to Cody Harris over at Star of the West. Cody, well, is it too much to ask for 2 days in a row?
Well, we got it right now, so I'm glad we have it. But yeah, we're up across the board here, Terry.
Any particular reason why, Cody?
A little bit kind of like yesterday. It seems like you got some active fund buying, trying to exit some of their record large, short positions that they have in corn and soybeans. So that's moving them in the right direction. Also, I know next week we got USDA September crop production report, and I'm hearing from a few guys out there that they might lower yields slightly, both on corn and soybeans, maybe by a bushel per acre on corn and a half a bushel per acre on the soybean side of things. So everyone's trying to get a handle on that as that report's going to feature the first infield assessments of the crop. So that may be a big one as far as what our crop's going to look like here as we're kind of really getting to harvest in our neck of the woods. But as far as I would say, wheat's kind of been the big mover here. And a lot of that has to do with kind of the same thing we were dealing with yesterday. Ukraine kind of decided to put a cap on their wheat exports. They were at like 16.2 million metric tons. And last year, I think they were at 18.3. But the problem is, I think the USDA was expecting to be around 21 million metric tons. So having them cap their exports at 16.2 is definitely a big major change over in that neck of the woods.
Yeah, it's kind of a surprise. I'm wondering if maybe the dry weather was a little bit more pronounced than what some folks were thinking, especially pretty much all season long in the central part of the country.
Oh, yeah, that's definitely, I think, a big factor. And I think if we looked at our crop progress reports that came out yesterday, you kind of seen that the good to excellent in corn and soybeans really stayed consistent, but the very poor increased, even though it was slightly in both corn and soybeans. So I think you're definitely seeing a little bit of that hot weather, especially in that central part of the U.S., maybe taking a little more of effect than we were expecting to, like you were saying.
So at this stage of the game, on the board at Star, what have you got?
We got right now cash wheat that's up 7 at the moment, 549 on the white, 474 on the red. New crop 2025 wheat that's up 9 at the moment. We're looking at 589 on the white, and then I got my numbers here messed up. 419 on the red, and then as we're looking at cash corn, that's up 1 at 320. New crop corn also up 1 at 345. Then looking over at soybeans, cash soybeans are up 1 at 973, and new crop soybeans are up 1 at 933.
Well, as long as you got them messed up in the right direction, we're doing okay.
Exactly.
Yeah, there you
We're
go.
going in the right direction anyways.
Cody, thanks a lot. You take care. Have a great day, okay?
Yeah, you as well. Thank you.
You bet. Cody Harris over at Star of the West. Doug Klein from Oppenheimer joining us now. The market report brought to you by Thumb Bank, making agricultural loans since 1895. They know, obviously, that farming continues to offer challenges that are very demanding. That's why Thumb Bank has been in the business as long as they've been, because they are a good source of information when it comes to managing your operation, because the bottom line, obviously, is what we're all looking at. Thumb Bank locations all across the Thumb and the Great Lakes Bay region. Thumb Bank and Trust, where relationships are built on trust, equal opportunity lender and member FDIC. And the market report brought to you by Ed Raymond and Sons, quality clothing and shoes since 1919. When you're talking Carhartts, you're talking Red Wing shoes and boots, Stormy Cromer accessories, you are talking Ed Raymond's. 151 West Broad Street in Chesaning. They're open and ready to go when you are. Check them out at edraymond's.com. Morning, Doug.
Good morning.
Here we go. One more time.
One more time. We got this.
We got it. Yep. What's going on?
Well, the dollar's weaker today by about 0.5%. Job openings came in weaker than expected. Labor market is softening, so interest rates are coming down. The yield curve is no longer inverted, which is kind of a big thing. Short-term interest rates have come down. Long-term interest rates are still hovering high, not higher, but hanging up there pretty steady. So that's going on. Utilities in general have hit new highs today. Detroit Edison, AT&T, Consumers Power across the board. Anything in the electric business that kind of hit new highs. Berkshire Hathaway hit a new high. What else? Oh, Dick's reported they had a great quarter. Dick's Sporting Goods. but they said that they're not so optimistic about the next quarter. So they're down 15 points today. Walgreens got a new low today. Dollar General, Dollar Tree, Advanced Auto all hit new lows today. So that's kind of the same theme that we've been hearing about or talking about for the last quite a while. So that's what's going on. The stock market's making a little bit of a bounce back, but not nearly as much as it lost yesterday. So probably have to see a couple days before anybody feels, excitable in that arena. We'll just have to see what happens tomorrow. But crude oil is under 70. That's a good sign. Gasoline at 197-ish. Should put us in the 260s in the not too distant future. October it should be. So we'll see what happens there. And precious metals, just fairly stable today. Nothing, no big moves. Here's your numbers. December corn, 409 3/4, up a half a penny. March corn is 428 1/4, up a penny. November soybeans, 1014 3/4, up 2 3/4. January soybeans, 1032 3/4, up 3 1/4. The December wheat is 573 1/4, up 6 1/2, and March wheat is 594, up 7 3/4. Crude oil is 70.02, down 32 cents. Heating oil is 217.77, down 2.8 cents. Gasoline 196.96, down 0.8 cents. Natural gas 219, down 1.3 cents. Currencies: Canadian dollar, U.S. dollar buys $1.35.19 Canadian. That's down 31 ticks. The dollar buys 144.27 yen. That's down 120 ticks. The euro's at 110.80, up 37 ticks. The dollar's at 101.39, down 44 ticks. Gold's at $24.83.50, down $6.40. Silver's $28.11, up 15.5 cents. Platinum's at $910.70, up 80 cents. And copper's at $407.85, down 1.4 cents.
All righty. You have a good one.
Thank you. You too.
Thanks, Doug. Doug Klein over at Oppenheimer. Farm Service brought to you today by the folks at Freeland Bean and Grain. They want to make sure that you're ready to go this fall, working through the winter and into next spring. They are your Dairyland Seed headquarters, so check them out. They've got the advice that you need for soil preparation this fall, too, when you have a chance to talk to Certified Crop Advisor Vic Huffer. Freeland Bean and Grain, where serving you is their business. They've been doing it since 1983. When we return, Matthew, who do we have on deck?
Up next, we have Bill Webster from Nutrient Ag, and we also have Jerry Samolsky from the Bay Landscaping and Garden Center in Essexville.
But first, this.
The summer sell down is officially going on now at Cook Chevrolet Ambassador. What does it mean? How about a fantastic Blazer lease payment as low as $280 a month? Even better, can you believe that a $54,000 crew cab Silverado 4-wheel drive pickup now starts at only $250 a month? Once again, that's Chevy Blazers from $280 and Silverados from $250. And at Cook Chevrolet, you'll not only find the totally redesigned, sharper, and roomier 2024 Traverse, but we now have the all-new redesigned 2025 Chevy Equinox in stock and available for your inspection. That's two of Chevy's top-selling vehicles, new and improved, and they're loaded with new and updated features. It's the summer sale down and the New Year startup going on right now. Get out today to Cook Chevrolet M15 Top of the Hill Ambassador.
Payments based on 24-month GM employee and family lease, 10,000 miles per year, and includes all rebates. 2,000 cash down due at signing. Call or visit us online at cookchevysuperstore.com. Chevy, together, let's drive.
At Ranch and Farm Auctions, we understand that selling your property is about passing on a legacy, your legacy. Working with Ranch and Farm Auctions to auction your property is a promise to maximize our experience and knowledge to bring top dollar for every acre. Our national platform and extensive buyer database from across the country are uniquely positioned to bring more qualified buyers, which leads to premium bids on auction day. Visit ranchandfarmauctions.com or call auction expert Michael Turner at 989-305-9683.
Farm Service brought to you today by the folks at the Frankenmuth Credit Union. They're ready to go with lines of credit, equipment loans, financing for purchasing land, credit cards, and more. Stop by and see how they can become your hometown financial solution. Find out more by going to frankenmuthcu.org. We say good morning to Bill Webster over at Nutrient Ag. Bill, what's going on out in the fields right now?
Well, we're busy starting with the early sugar beet harvest, and I think harvest of everything else is going to run a couple weeks ahead of normal. So get your guys need to get their wheat seed lined up, their fertilizer for wheat lined up, and just be prepared for what looks like an earlier harvest than we've had last year for sure.
It looks like early all the way around. Everything that I'm hearing is we're running a good week to, in some cases, a week and a half ahead.
Yep, that's exactly what we've been thinking too.
So at this stage of the game, you mentioned about wheat seed. You got a pretty good stock of it?
Yes, got a good supply. The wheat seed was grown in a good conditions this year, so we've got really good supplies. And I think the acreage is going to be up, particularly compared to last year, which was way down acres.
Yeah, we had a lot of folks that had just got too late in the fall, and they were a little skittish. They didn't want to put it in end of October, first part of November.
Right. That's always risky at that point.
No, it sure is. Bill, you take care. Good advice. We'll talk to you again, okay?
Okay, thanks, Terry.
You bet. Bill Webster over at Nutrien Ag. Jerry Samolsky now, Bay Landscaping and Garden Center in Essexville. We're talking about planting wheat out in the fields pretty soon. What are you thinking, Jerry?
Well, one thing you might want to be concerned with, if you're looking at daffodils or tulips right now for their fall planting, if you see them, buy them. The Netherlands is where, I don't know if it's all of the bulbs come from, but 90%, the vast majority of those spring flowering bulbs come from the Netherlands, and they had a crop failure. And so there's just not a lot available in that area coming back this way. And so, if you want them, get them as soon as you see them. But also this time of year, Terry, we're sitting here, we're looking at the weed growth, and, weeds are pretty smart. They're going, I don't think I want to germinate anymore. So I'm just going to wait till next year when daylight's a little bit longer. We have a little more time to grow. So what I think, if you can get out there and get your weeding done one more time in your flower beds, it'd be a great time. Then you'll be done for the season. And also that's why it's another good reason to seed your lawn at this time. Those either the whole lawn or patches, because the weeds are going like, I'm not so sure I want to germinate now. So weed growth is really suppressing and going down. So one more weeding and get your lawn seeding going, and you'll be in good shape.
Good suggestions. Plan of the week is tomorrow, right, Jerry?
Yes, sir.
If we can find it.
We can find it. It's in just finishing up its flower right now. It's a great plant.
Oh, fantastic. Nice tease. We'll talk about it tomorrow. Jerry Samolsky, Bay Landscaping and Garden Center in Essexville. We'll be right back.
It happens after every commercial building gets built.
That looks great, boys. Wow, what a change. The owners are going to be thrilled.
Even after cleaning out the garage or shed. That leftover scrap metal can be a burden, but it doesn't have to be, and it can make you some cash. Rifkin Scrap Iron and Metal is a metal recycling company that'll pay you cash and recycle your metal for the future. Rifkin Scrap Iron and Metal also makes it easy. We can provide containers for industrial manufacturing facilities and small specialty shops for moving and storing scrap metals. Looking to scrap a vehicle? We got you. Rifkin Scrap Iron and Metal in Saginaw, just north of the Dow Event Center. Also located in West Branch, 1 mile off I-75 and M76. Schedule a car pickup or check metal prices now at rifkin-co.com. Rifkin Scrap Iron and Metal, recycling today for tomorrow.
Friday bonus pricing has been extended at Rifkin Steel.
Farm Service brought to you today by the folks at Quality Roasting of Reese, offering competitive, consistent prices for your soybeans. Give them a call for a quote today. Chuck Servinski, Maple Hill Nursery over in Midland. And Chuck, we're all about planting right now.
We are. We're right into the fall planting season, and the weather is perfect right now to plant new trees and shrubs. And one thing you're going to want to make sure you do is use a good planting mix when you're planting those new plants. We have just the thing over here, and it's called Tree and Shrub. It's made by Morgan Composting, makers of Dairy Dew. And it's a special recipe that will jumpstart the trees and shrubs with the added kick of triple ground bark. And it also has a great water holding capacity. And it's real important to use this when first planting, new additions to your landscaping. And it also can be used as a tool to support existing trees and shrubs. For new trees and shrubs, you're going to mix equal parts of the tree and shrub with existing soil. filling around the plant, so kind of a 50-50 mix. And then you can top dress around the plant with a little bit of tree and shrub, extending out to about the radius of the plant's next year of canopy growth. It's also really good for seedlings and bare root trees if you're going to use that. And it really does a nice job, and we've got it here available right now.
Fantastic. All we got to do is stop by and
we'll show you how to do it with Dairy Dew products from Morgan Composting.
Chuck Cervinsky, thanks a lot. We'll talk to you again. Chuck Cervinsky, we'll be right back. Do you have a yield monitor in your combine? Do you print off a pretty picture every year, but you don't know what to do with it? Why don't you have PC Ag Solutions analyze your data to help you make profitable decisions for the upcoming season? We can help you analyze your data from your planter, sprayer, or combine and compare it to your soil types and nutrient availability. Anything from the planting date to your speed, population, and variety to elevation, drainage, and in-season applications. We can help you make the most profitable decision on your farm. Call us today, 989-868-4444. Back at 12:30 with an update. Now we conclude our program with the playing of our national anthem, brought to you by Euclid Avenue Coins in Bay City.
Broadcasting from the Stormmaster Exterior Studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW-FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Steve Kathan. Sources tell CBS News the Biden administration is set to accuse Russia of engaging in interference leading up to the